Hi, very good morning. It's 4 o'clock and the insomnia is still there, it's keeping me awake. But, whilst I was here, I thought, I'd ask the artificial intelligence questions about Jordan Peterson and Michaela Peterson, to get a bit of a background on them. And guys, I like this guy. I really do. And I was trying to figure out what it was that the establishment went out for him. What was the trigger? And as you're going to hear later on, both Jordan and Michaela are rare individuals when it comes down to certain things. For instance, Jordan was reliant on a medication for a period of time, and he had an illness which he didn't seek treatment in Canada for, or even the United States, or anywhere in the European Union. He never sought any treatment in all of those countries. He went to a specific country, and I will bring in the artificial intelligence a bit later on in this conversation with you guys. He went to Russia and was induced, according to the artificial intelligence, as you'll hear later on talk about, into a coma. And of course you can understand why his government from there on out are going to bestrange him for, first of all, going to a country like Russia for medical treatment, being induced into a coma in order to control what is, I would expect, normally explained as an addiction to certain medication, and then return back to the Canadian field of normality in some reasons. But here's the question: what come back after that? And that will be probably the underlying subject for the Canadian government. That will be the underlying subject for any government now. What has come back from being in an induced coma in Russia? And let's face it, Canada and the United States don't really see Russia as being friendly. And Jordan Peterson being a significant figure would be a temptation, possibly, that could not be overlooked. And obviously maybe something happened there. Michaela is also a unique person, an individual in her own rights, because of her dietary and a condition that she has lived with, according to AI. All this is according to artificial intelligence. And she has a diet which is classed as the lion diet, which is meat, salt and water. And I'll just ask, if you was in a room of 4,000 people, she would probably be the one with the unique dietary requirements. So, these are two stones thrown at the same target. What's the target? Attention is the target. Because, you are obviously going to get attention for, first of all, choosing to go to Russia for treatment, not willing to use, the natural resources that surround you, like Canadian medical treatment, or even the United States, or the whole of Europe. You went to Russia. and then, you know, there's Michaela. I just think that, you know, sometimes we put a lot of trust in people, and deliberately they don't tell us every aspect of importance that clearly would give us a good indication of understanding of them. And it's only through time that you learn about people. And, you know, with that, you know, let's just hear what the artificial intelligence had to say about this. And now I want to say that artificial intelligence is just really not that intelligent, but it is a database which is accessible and will give back information based on that information that has been installed in that. And for the purpose of this video, really, you know, I'm not trying to bring down Jordan Peterson. I'm just trying to answer the question for him. You know, if you wonder why your establishments are going out for you, then you have given them cause to do that, because you went to Russia. You was in an induced coma for a prolonged period of time, and God knows what else happened whilst you was in that induced coma. We don't know what other brainwashing that took place, but you know, there will be people thinking, you know what, when you're injured as a child, you run to your mom to seek comfort and help, you know, but you, in this case, Jordan, you ran to Russia and not Canada and not the United States and nowhere in Europe. You ran to Russia for some reason. Why was that? Why did you go to Russia is what people will think, and this is what people are thinking that are making the decisions on you. And it's so easy to find out about your background and a little bit of your medical background simply by accessing, you know, sources of information on AI. I'm just putting it out there. I'm not against Jordan Peterson. I'm just saying this is the information that has been put out against him. So with that, let's just see what the artificial intelligence, you know, OpenAI has in their database. So I'll ask the question. Tell us about Jordan Peterson and his medical treatment in Russia.
Jordan Peterson, the Canadian clinical psychologist and public intellectual, sought unconventional medical treatment in Russia in early 2020. According to statements made by his daughter, Michaela Peterson, Jordan Peterson developed a physical dependency on benzodiazepines, a class of medications often prescribed for anxiety, after a severe autoimmune reaction to food. His dependency reportedly began when he was prescribed the medication for anxiety during his wife's battle with cancer. The situation grew more complicated as Peterson tried to stop taking the drug due to its side effects, leading to what his daughter described as a paradoxical reaction to the medication. Concerned with the standard treatment protocols for benzodiazepine withdrawal in North America, which Michaela Peterson believed were insufficient for her father's condition, the family decided to seek treatment in Russia. There, Jordan Peterson underwent an intensive detoxification process that she claimed was not available in Canada or the United States. The treatment in Russia was said to be very risky and included a medically induced coma, which is not a standard medical practice for benzodiazepine detoxification in Western countries. It carried significant risks, but the Peterson family felt it was a necessary step. Following his treatment in Russia, Jordan Peterson spent time in Serbia for further recovery. Throughout this period, he was relatively absent from the public eye. However, by late 2020 and into 2021, Peterson began to re-engage with the public, returning to his podcast, interviews, and work commitments, indicating that he was recovering from the ordeal. It's essential to approach matters of medical treatment with caution, as individual responses to treatment can vary greatly, and a proper course should always be developed in consultation with healthcare professionals. The information about Peterson's treatment in Russia comes from public statements by his family, as there are no detailed medical reports available to the public.
So that's the AI's response with regards to Jordan Peterson's treatment in Russia. But the response of that information to the Canadian government would be that what has come back after being induced into a coma. I'm just saying that they would be very paranoid about that. And shocked probably because the fact he went out of the country for treatment, which he obviously probably thought he could not obtain within Canada. You know, I do respect Jordan Peterson, and you know, I understand, you know, that he has, you know, undergone some traumatic moments in life, like we all experience, you know, but he has taken some unusual steps to fix the problems, and resorting to, you know, a country like Russia. And there's nothing wrong with Russia. Russia's a good country, you know, and it's good people there. But having not the trust in your own government to give the treatment that you need, and then going to a country like Russia, which your country parliamentary figures would classify a big risk, you know, then I think it's understandable when you come back that they are going to be subjecting you to questioning, as are you still on the right line of thoughts, or are you pushing, you know, a communist approach from that point on. You know, this is just the way maybe the Canadian government are thinking right now with him and the institutes that he's associated with. I'm just putting it out there. You can't help but have the thought in the back of your mind, what else happened in Russia? Just putting it out there, guys, that's all.